Here we are then, welcome back to F1 2021. This is part 4 of Season 4 of our Immersive Driver Career Mode with Mercedes. Today we have the Canadian Grand Prix, my favourite track of the season on the calendar. Really looking forward to getting into it actually. We're going to treat ourselves to a brand new fresh engine ready for the start of Q1. We've been fastest in all 3 practice sessions so far, so looking really, really good. We're going to treat ourselves to the fresh engine because of the long straights around here, but hopefully we'll manage to come out on top. So let's see how we get on in qualifying today. Well, we come up to the line in our 3rd lap in Q1 and managed to post a 107.9. That should be secure into Q2. But we were held up slightly on our first lap by Alfa Romeo. And that meant that we didn't quite get our fastest time in. But you can see already we can improve on this Q1 time. We're already 2/10 up, in fact. I mean, we might as well finish this lap if we do manage to keep on improving, although a little slide through that chicane there lost us a couple of tenths of a second, and there you go, a little bit wide onto the marbles there. So that's going to be the end of this run. Should be enough to get through Q2, and we reconvene for the next session. There we are, comfortably through in 12th place. A worrying 7 tenths behind our teammate Lewis Hamilton, considering we have been the quicker driver all weekend. Hopefully we can pull that gap back in Q2 here. Well, here we are at the start of Q2. This is a great lap. It's a 107.5.
That's the fastest lap so far.
Which is the fastest lap in Q2 so far, but not as quick as Lewis Hamilton in Q1. But that's our fastest time of the weekend, so we're starting to thread the needle a little bit with this car. And hopefully that means we can pull out an even better time very, very shortly. Lewis Hamilton risking it on the medium tyres. He may be run close to going out in Q2, but we'll have to wait and see. Bottas goes quickest with a 107.5, so he's a tenth of a second quicker than us. There's definitely a tenth of a second on the table.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
It's all going to be whether we can hook it up in Q3. Well, there you go. Just about scraped through. In the end, there was a flurry of times towards the end of the session, and we have just squeaked through in 10th place there, just 6 thousandths of a second ahead of Christian Lundgaard. Everybody abandoned the medium tyre strategy, and Lewis and Max are pushing to the limit. They are half a second quicker than anybody else in Q2, but we're safely through nonetheless. Well, we come up to the line. It's not a fantastic lap, and it's a 107.5. It's about as good as we did in Q2, but we could have done better. We really could have. We'll push hard on this second lap and see if we can find an improvement, but there you go, we hit the wall, so going to need to come in, change the front wing, and do better next time. Disappointing. Here we go then, up to the line. It's going to be our best time, but not good enough to get near the front. It's only P7, unfortunately. Although we were quickest in all 3 practice sessions, we couldn't hook it up when we needed to. and we were half a second off pole sitter Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton there in second.
Hamilton and Charles Leclerc.
Leclerc in third.
Our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Perez in fourth, Gasly fifth, and Bottas in sixth. We will start seventh tomorrow, which is going to be tricky, I think. Definitely tricky. But we'll see how we get on in the race.
Bonjour, it's time once again to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. It's one of the fastest races of the season here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 60% of this 2.7-mile circuit taken at full throttle. There are 14 corners to navigate, the very last of which has its very own infamous history, and could be the cause of a safety car today. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Pierre Gasly, the captain, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Giovinazzi and Christian Lundgaard, Tsunoda, Vettel and Guan Yu Zhou and Russell, Bottas, Ocon, Nicholas Latifi and Mick Schumacher, Mazepin and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Okay, here we are then, down on the track, ready to go. Certainly didn't want to be this low down the field. Turn one is going to be a very dangerous place for us, you feel. And we're going to need to get these tyres as hot as we can.
On bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
And we've had a fair few incidents on lap 1 with the Canadian Grand Prix in the past. And we certainly don't want a repeat of that today. Particularly the one with Nikita Mazepin, I think it was, a couple of years ago. Season 1. Where we crashed into him, lost our front wing. Had to pit on that first lap, but we have had underbody damage, we've had side pod damage, all that sort of stuff, and yeah, I just have a feeling there's going to be an incident going into turn 1. I don't know whether we're going to be involved in it, but it's certainly going to be an interesting one. Max Verstappen leading the way. Lewis Hamilton surely is going to be aggressive going into turn 1. The two Ferraris are going to be looking to mop up any sort of mistake from the top two. Pierre Gasly, big opportunity for him today. And then us in 6th, we're looking to get back into the fight. But you feel like we should have good race pace. So we just got to try and keep it clean on this first lap. So here we go, lining up. Max Verstappen will start in pole position with Lewis Hamilton in 2nd. Charles Leclerc is 3rd with Perez 4th. Gasly 5th, we're 6th. Then Norris in 7th with Fernando Alonso in 8th, who is the championship leader, of course. So here we go. We are sat on the grid, ready and raring to go. Let's see how we get on. Lights out, away we go. Here in Canada, it's a decent start off the line for us. Perez already on the grass as we hurtle towards turn 1. The McLaren goes wide, and goodness me, there's lots of carbon fibre flying about. And we're down to 9th here, down to 10th now. That's Fernando Alonso having a look. But we managed to just about keep it steady. And now got a chance on Giovinazzi. And we are through. And now Tsunoda and Gasly looking at each other. Tsunoda round the outside. I mean, what a start for him. But Max Verstappen safely through this start procedure in first place. Now we've got to settle down into the race and find our rhythm, because we just sort of got boxed in that first corner. We probably have got the pace to at least get these two. And there is yellow flags behind. Not entirely sure what's going on. But will there be anyone into the pits after this first lap? Doesn't look like it. So Verstappen leads by about 2 seconds from Lewis Hamilton at the end of the first lap. Down the inside of Pierre Gasly we go. Lando Norris going slowly just ahead as well. And we will have DRS to try and get past him going into turn 1. That's pretty good. This is a decent run. We've got overtake as well.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
We do go down the inside and make the move stick. Good stuff.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Well, we're going to come in a lap earlier than expected to try and gain a bit of an undercut on the guys ahead. So here we go. We're away. 2.7 seconds. Not the quickest pit stop you'll ever see, but trying to get an undercut on the guys ahead of us.
Pit strategy complete. See these tires
You know,
through
it's
to the end
important that we come out ahead of Nikita Mazepin, and that's exactly what we do. So we can now throw down the hammer, because it is hammer time for us on these medium tyres. Well, there we go, we are past young Mick Schumacher, and there's the Ferrari of Sergio Perez. So we come out just behind him, but the other guys we should be able to undercut. There we go, there's the guys in the pit lane, and we've just set fastest lap of the race.
so far.
And there you go, we have undercut the likes of Leclerc and Hamilton, so Perez is the guy right in front of us on track. And it's the battle for second now. Well, Perez was having a look at Stroll, but Stroll
Good work. Great pass.
didn't give him any room, and we've managed to go down the inside of Lance now, and we are through. Perez still needs to pass him. Should get past him fairly easily with the DRS. Well, down the inside of Sebastian Vettel, and we are through. And now on into second on the track, 10 seconds behind leader Max Verstappen, but Our strategy has worked out perfectly for us. Well, we're on the final lap of this race, and although the gaps haven't really changed too much, our tyres are starting to go off now. But this would be a really good recovery drive to second place after starting 7th. But Max Verstappen has absolutely dominated the Grand Prix. Got a decent lead early on and avoided all the carnage. There might be one little chance for Charles Leclerc at the end of this Grand Prix, so we've got to make sure we spot our braking point, and that's exactly what we do. And we guide it up to the line. Leclerc's not going to beat us. There we go, we finish in second. And there you go, an excellent Grand Prix. 18 points in the bag, and I think we got fastest lap as well, unless somebody got it right at the end there. Driver of the day. Well, things are starting to turn.
Magnificent Canadian Grand Prix, and they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Today's performance means Max Verstappen now owns the top spot in the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to the captain. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, there we have it then. We did finish with fastest lap in the end. Max Verstappen winning the race. We finished second. Leclerc very close behind in third. Perez fourth. Gasly fifth. Tsunoda in sixth. And Hamilton only in seventh there. A poor race for him. And look how close it is now at the top of the drivers' standings. The top 5 separated by 9 points. The constructors similarly close, 2 points separating Red Bull and Mercedes. Alpine only 30 points behind. But what an excellent Grand Prix. If you've enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching and goodbye.